is the Lamb who was slain. Worthy is the King who conquered the grave. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. Worthy is the King who conquered the grave. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. Worthy is the King who conquered the grave. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. Worthy is the King who conquered the grave. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. Worthy is the King who conquered the grave. This is amazing grace. This is amazing love. That you would take my place. That you would bear my cross. You would lay down your life. That I would be set free. Jesus, I sing all that you've done for me. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. Worthy is the King who conquered the grave. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. Worthy is the King who conquered the grave. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. Worthy is the King who conquered the grave. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. Worthy is the King who conquered the grave. nations of the earth now rejoice.
All the nations of the earth now rejoice.
All the people of God sing His praise.
All the people of God sing His praise.
Everything that has breath shout for joy.
Everything that has breath shout for joy.
Everything that is beautiful belongs to You. Oh, the earth it is the Lord's. Everything is yours. Everything is yours. You are excellent. Oh, the earth it is the Lord's. Everything is yours. Everything is yours. You are excellent. How excellent is Your name? How excellent is Your name? How excellent is Your name? All of the earth say, how excellent is Your name? How excellent is Your name? How excellent is Your name? All of the earth say, oh, 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 all the nations of the earth now rejoice.
All the nations of the earth now rejoice.
All the people of God sing His praise.
All the people of God sing His praise.
Everything that has breath shout for joy.
Everything that has breath shout for joy.
Everything that is beautiful belongs to You. Oh, the earth it is the Lord's. Everything is yours. Everything is yours. You are excellent. Oh, the earth it is the Lord's. Everything is yours. Everything is yours. You are excellent. How excellent is Your name? How excellent is Your name? How excellent is Your name? All of the earth say, how excellent is Your name? How excellent is Your name? How excellent is Your name? All of the earth say, how excellent is Your name? How excellent is Your name? How excellent is Your name? All of the earth say, how excellent is Your name? How excellent is Your name? How excellent is Your name? All of the earth all the earth is yours, everything is yours. You have created all things and made it good. All the earth is yours, everything is yours. You have created all things and made it good. All the earth is yours, everything is yours. You have created all things and made it good. All the earth is yours, everything is yours. You have created all things and made it good. The earth it is the Lord's. Everything is yours. Everything is yours. You are excellent. Oh, the earth it is the Lord's. Everything is yours. Everything is yours. You are excellent. How excellent is Your name? How excellent is Your name? How excellent is Your name? All of the earth say, how excellent is Your name? How excellent is Your name? How excellent is Your name? All of the earth say, how excellent is Your name? How excellent is Your name? How excellent is Your name? All of the earth say, how excellent is Your name? Amen. Well, hey, welcome to the church. It's great to see everybody. Why don't you grab a seat, give somebody a high five on your way down, or leave them alone. That's fine too. And it's so good to see everybody. Now we're going to have some announcements. It's good old Nigel.
Check. Microphone is on. All right. Happy Easter, Ann Arbor. Woo! He is risen. Oh, man. You guys even got the prompt down. Well done. Well, good morning. My name is Nigel Berry. I'm the Youth Ministries Director here at the church. It is my honor and privilege to welcome you here to our service this Sunday morning. We hope your morning is starting off wonderful. There's no snow or ice on the road, so if you got nothing else, praise God for that. If you're joining us for the very first time, an extra special welcome. We're really glad that you chose to celebrate your Easter morning with us here at the church. A couple things that'll be helpful for you to get you started. We do have a welcome card. You'll see one in the seat pocket in front of you this morning. We'd like to invite you to fill that out and drop it in the offering bag as that comes around after the service this morning. We'd love to know what brought you here, how we might serve you better, and we'll follow up to connect with you more in person. If you include your mailing address in that welcome card, we'll also send you a complimentary CD or MP3 download card of some of the greatest worship music produced by The Vineyard or our own local artist, Sean Garth Walker, and his Anchors and Alibis project. Two other cards that you'll see there this morning. We do have a green giving card if you'd like to learn how you can partner with our church and the things we're doing here financially. Put down your contact information on that green card and we'll follow up with you and give you more information on how to join us. And then finally, as our blue prayer card, this is something we really value here at our church, is praying for one another. So one of the ways you can let us know what's happening in your life is to fill this card out and also drop that in the offering. So feel free to jot down anything that you're asking God for, and also anything you'd like to give God praise and credit for. We also want to celebrate that with you. Our team takes time every Wednesday during our staff meeting to pray over these cards. I'm going to highlight a couple things coming up this morning. You'll be able to find more details about the things I'm talking about within your bulletins if you picked one up at the front door today. First things first, it is Easter Sunday, and we're getting packed in here, which is a beautiful thing to see. So a request I'd have on behalf of our ushers, if you have extra spaces that you've been saving for like your coat or imaginary friend, if you would condense that by possibly sliding more inward together. Everybody showered this morning. We know you're all clean. But if you kind of condense a little bit to make it more room for people as they arrive, that would be super kind and loving. This morning, we're also offering free portraits in our lobby. Elena Mathern Photography is offering free family, individual, and group Easter portraits. Props included if desired. So if you didn't take advantage of that when you came in this morning, Elena will be there right after the service. Be sure to go out there, connect, make smiles, make goofy faces. We love it. Have fun. All those will be available online following this weekend service. We have a Let's Do Lunch event coming up on Sunday, April 3rd at noon, which I believe would be 1 week from today. So we're excited about the opportunity to meet new people and to grow in our relationships with one another. And it's a great advantage of being plugged into a local church. So if you'd like to connect with people at the church or learn more about us in a more informal setting, consider joining us for lunch after the service. Next Sunday, a few of our leaders will be gathering people in the lobby, and you'll have a great time should you choose to join the Longs at Red Robin, Sarah at Qdoba, or Joan at IHOP. And if you're really hungry and extroverted, you can try to hit all three locations to unlock a special achievement. So challenge on. Let's see what you guys can do. And the last one I want to highlight this morning is we do have an open board meeting coming up on Sunday, April 17th. That'll be at 12:15 p.m. after the service in our cafe. So our senior pastor and team have been working hard the last few months to assemble a strategic plan which will span the next 3 to 5 years here at our local church. And so the plan has been submitted to our church board, and we're inviting members into the discussion of the plan on that Sunday after the service. So we recommend packing a lunch or placing a local food order if you plan on attending. And we hope to see you there. And the church's strategic plan will be available by request once it's been approved by the board. Finally, we serve a God who knows us by name, and we desire to be a community where we know one another by name. Towards that end, name tags are available at the front of each of the seating sections. And there should be an envelope under your seat. If you're sitting in the front of the sections, you'd be willing to reach down and grab the envelope. Fill out a name tag if you've not done so already, and you can pass that back, and we can know who we're sitting by. Also a nice comforting thing. Finally, we have a couple places you can go if you have a small child that would become vocal during the celebration. We have a cry room, which is over here to my right, your left, which is exclusively for moms with kids. And the lobby is available for moms and dads, and the sermon is broadcast in both locations, so you can still participate. Please take a moment to turn your cell phones to silent. Our junior high ministry is not meeting this morning, and all students are invited to join us here in the celebration for baptisms today. And as Pastor Donnell makes his way to the stage, please take a moment to stretch, high-five a neighbor, and grab sermon notes from the cart in the center of the room. We also have coloring pages for those who may be feeling artistically inspired this morning. Here's our senior pastor, Donnell Weich.
Thanks, Nigel. Well, good morning again, and welcome to the Vineyard. We're so glad that you're here with us this morning. If this is your first time or your 100th time, we are grateful for your presence with us in our community. Whether you arrived here this morning because you performed an internet search looking for a church, because you were invited, or because you already knew the way, we are grateful for your presence in our space this morning. Our simple prayer for you is that you would experience peace, that you would experience welcome, that you would experience acceptance and space to have an encounter with the loving presence of the living God as you spend time with us this morning. Last week, Nigel Berry, who was just here on the stage, wrapped up our Lenten sermon series called Jesus is Really Good. Now, during Lent, we spent the 6 or 7-ish weeks to use the scriptures to inspire, encourage, and nudge us along into taking little leaps of faith during Lent. We also focused on the sheer and surprising goodness of God, something that we can forget about during all of the suffering, the loss, and the harassment of our everyday life. And throughout Lent, many of us, as we have been asking God for things, God has been answering. And you'll note that the answer prayer wall is now have answer prayers on it. When we started in Lent, we emptied the wall, and God has been speaking. He's been acting. He's been doing. And I know that God has been up to incredible things because every week we get these blue prayer cards. And the first section on the blue prayer card is, I'm grateful for. And often it is an acknowledgement of something God has done in the lives of the congregation. So if you haven't had a chance to already note if God has answered one of your prayers during Lent, I would invite you today, after you come up for communion, to just come over to the answer prayer wall and jot down how God may have blessed you during Lent and put it up on the glass. So today is Resurrection Sunday, and as my grandmother would say, He is risen. He indeed is risen. Such a shorthand to explain so much. You know, I've heard it said that every death buys something. Sounds a bit morbid, doesn't it? You know, I've always struggled to get my arms around exactly what it means for a death to buy something for us. Those of us who have lost dear loved ones, often we don't feel this way. If anything, most of us feel very deeply the loss of the dearly departed. We wrestle with the grief that lingers and the heartache that we experience and feel that comes from knowing that we are just a little bit more alone in the world without those we've loved. We certainly don't like to think about death as a currency, do we? A currency to obtain something that we want or even something that we need. Yet, tangled very deeply within the mystery of the Easter story is a life that was freely given and a resulting death that seems to buy us something. You may already know this story. It's about the first humans who were planted by God in a garden. Genesis chapter 2, verse 25. Adam and his wife Eve, they were both naked, and they felt no shame. Now, while they were planted in this garden by God, someone else came along and told them that everything that they had been told by God was a lie. Instead of being planted in this garden and given freedom and authority and space and being told that all of this was very good, an enemy came.